Here we are, the first weekend in March, and it's going to be one hell of a month with plenty of basketball. But I just want to take a minute or so and talk about baseball. Yes, baseball. I realize a hell of a lot of you watching this video report, you don't bet baseball. What a mistake you are making. Listen, it has always been the easiest sport and the most profitable sport for me personally. I've been betting baseball since I was in high school. And again, it is the easiest sport to make money in. But I understand why a lot of guys don't bet it. I understand why a lot of handicappers, the minute the Super Bowl is over, they put that shingle up on their door that says "Gone Fishing." A lot of other guys will stay in this business till the March Madness is over, and then they take off as well. Why? Because it takes a commitment. It's really the dog days of summer in the gambling industry because it takes that commitment day in, day out to do the research, to put in the time. You may not want to do it, but that's what I do. And that's why I make money. Again, it's the easiest sport to make money because of the repetition and the consistency. Because you can count on teams playing 5 to 7 games a week. You can count on pitchers going every 4th or 5th day. And that's what makes gambling so much easier when it comes to baseball. And again, it is a sport. Me personally, I've turned a profit 14 of the last 17 years. If you were with me as a client, did I not make you a fortune this past baseball season? Hell, my winning streak that we are on right now really got underway last July. And what a roll it has been. But again, I realize a lot of you don't play baseball. And it is a mistake. The beautiful thing about baseball is it affords you the opportunity to build an incredible bankroll for football season. So when football kicks off in September, you aren't playing with your money, you're playing with somebody else's. So just keep that in mind. Now, in terms of spring training games, they're absolutely worthless. Mean absolutely nothing right now. The time that I look at what spring training means something is when pitchers are making their 3rd, 4th, and final starts of the spring, when their arms are being stretched out, when they're working at least 5 innings, and they're facing real batters. Not guys that are going to end up in AA and AAA ball, not guys that are going to be released. These first couple starts are actually their first 2 to 3 appearances. They're inconsequential. It means absolutely nothing. That's what I've been doing for the last 25 years, and that's why I can make money in baseball. So I hope you stick around, because it's going to be another good summer. Again, I made money 14 of the past 17 years in baseball betting, and you can too. Okay, let's get to today's card. As for me, took it on the chin last night, lost a 15-dimer in the NBA with the Raptors. That's okay. It's going to happen sometimes. And I'm going to come right back today because one loss doesn't stop me. I've got another raise the bar 20-dime release today in college basketball. I am 5-1 with these plays over the past 10 days. I had won 5 in a row until losing on Wednesday or Thursday night with Wichita State. 5-1 over a 10-day stretch. I can live with that. And today I'm going to come back with another one. It's on Gonzaga and St. Mary's. It's a late game. You get it for half price off by using coupon code HALF. The other 2 big plays today, Shawn Michaels, one of the charter members of this site. I started these sites almost 18 years ago. First ever 150-dime college basketball release of his career. It's the AAC game between Houston and Central Florida. It goes at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. You get that for over half price off by using coupon code 150-dimer. This is even bigger than those 100-dime plays in the NFL that he's on an 80 and 55 run, including the Patriots in the Super Bowl over the past 8 years. And also Chris Jordan, the winningest college basketball handicapper here over the past 2 years, making $1 bettors a little over $29,000. Double your wager 2,000 star college basketball winner number 15 out of 20 goes today. You know, $1 bettors have made over $48,000 in all sports the past 27 months combined. You get it for over half price off by using coupon code CHRIS. All your other discounts and coupon codes are up on the homepage. Let's get to your complimentary plays. I'll run these in reverse chronological order for you. Let's start with your game between... Let's make sure I run these in reverse chronological order. Let's take a look at the game between Texas Tech and TCU. I think this is a real interesting game. Remember when Texas Tech played Oklahoma State earlier this week. I warned you here on the video report that I thought that, again, the three most critical factors when it comes to handicapping college basketball that you have to be aware of: revenge, and particularly in-season revenge, the letdown, and the look ahead. Texas Tech was in the second such situation that night against Oklahoma State. It was a letdown because Texas Tech last Saturday was playing in revenge in Lubbock against Kansas and just destroyed the Jayhawks in that game 91-62. I thought that when they took on Oklahoma State Wednesday night, minus 14.5 points, a team that they had kicked Oklahoma State's ass in Stillwater earlier this season, that they were going to be in trouble, and they were. Even though they built a double-digit lead, Oklahoma State was just unconscious in that game. I think it was 17 three-pointers they hit in that game, the Cowboys did. They forced overtime, and Texas Tech was lucky to escape as a 14.5-point chalk with the 4-point win. That's not really Texas Tech. This is Texas Tech you're going to see today. A Texas Tech team that has really been on a nice roll, winning 8 of its last 9 games. You're getting value in this price today because what the public sees and the overreaction in this line is you've got a Texas Tech team that is a 3.5-point favorite today. If they had kicked Oklahoma State's ass the other night, Texas Tech would be laying 5.5 to 6.5 points today. Instead, this number is suppressed at 3.5. Makes it a bargain. I say it's a bargain because you still have a Texas Tech team that's number 2 in the nation in scoring defense, giving up just 58.5 points. You have a Texas Tech team that blew TCU out when these two met in Lubbock, January 28th, 84-65. Texas Tech shot almost a little over 54% in that game. Meanwhile, you have a TCU team that is coming off a triple overtime loss at West Virginia on Tuesday. An exciting game. I'll grant you that. 104-96 was the final score. TCU lost that game as a 4.5-point favorite. Now think about that. TCU was a 4.5-point favorite in Morgantown. Why was that? Because the Mountaineers had lost 5 in a row and 13 out of 15 going into that game. TCU needs a big win today, right? They're a bubble team. They've lost 4 of their last 5. They're not going to get it. Texas Tech has covered 8 of the last 9 of these meetings in Fort Worth, and I like Texas Tech in this one. Big East battle at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. Villanova is now an 8-point favorite against Butler. Villanova, of course, snapped the 3-game losing streak by beating Marquette 67-61 at home on Wednesday, pulled within 1/2 game of league leader Marquette, courtesy of that win. Ironically, the 2 seniors on the Villanova squad, Phil Booth and Eric Paschal, were a combined 5 for 27 with just 21 points in that contest. Instead, it was a sophomore, Jermaine Samuels, with a career-high 29 points in that contest that led the Wildcats. And I say ironically because Samuels had been scoreless in the previous 3 games, taking a combined 2 shots in those 3 games. Well, today is going to be senior day at the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia. And Booth and Paschal, who had a combined 40 points when Villanova won at Butler in the first meeting, I think the score, let me just look it up, it was 80-72 back on January 22nd. I think they'll deliver big time in their final home game for the Wildcats against a Butler team that's coming off a 73-67 overtime loss at home against Providence. Their last road game happened to be against Marquette. They lost by 10 on the Golden Eagles home floor. They're 2-5 on the road in conference action. They've lost 6 of their last 9 games overall, just covering 2 of those 9 games as well. So even though this game has jumped from 7 up to 8 points, I still like Villanova in this 2 o'clock Eastern time tip-off. Also today, one of your early games, I think it's an interesting contest. LSU is a 1.5-point favorite, tipping off at noon Eastern time at Alabama. LSU has won its last 2 games, even though Tremont Waters, the starting point guard, who averages 15.7 points and 5.9 assists, has missed those 2 games. He is expected back today. But the freshman who has filled in, Javonte Smart, has played outstanding ball. while Walters has been out, scoring 46 combined points to boost his season average to 11.1 points in that 2-game absence. You got an LSU team that has just been dynamite on the SEC highway, going 7-0, straight up 5-1-1 against the spread. They beat Alabama in Baton Rouge in the season's first meeting back on January 8th, 88-79. Favored has covered 15 of the last 21 meetings. Alabama 10-3 straight up at home. They've lost a couple of games on buzzer beaters, but LSU is the better team. And LSU has repeatedly shown you this season they play a lot of close games, but they have delivered in clutch situations. So I like LSU in this one. And also on the early card, another noontime Eastern game. I think it's kind of interesting. Michigan State is in revenge against Indiana, an Indiana team that beat it in overtime, 79-75 in East Lansing earlier this season. Can Indiana hit 10 of 23 pointers like they did in the first meeting? I don't think so. The Hoosiers are dead last in the Big Ten in terms of hitting from beyond the perimeter. Now, in that first meeting, Juwan Morgan only played 13 minutes and had 5 points because he hurt his shoulder in that game. He averages 15 points and 8 rebounds. Michigan State's Nick Ward, their center, is not going to play today, so Morgan ought to have a little more control. I don't really have an opinion on the game, but I had handicapped it, and I want to throw it out there for you because, Michigan State's won 5 straight. I didn't think Michigan State could beat Michigan last week, but they did. I know Indiana's no damn good. The fact that they beat Wisconsin in their last game in overtime, big deal. That's only their second win in 14 games. But the problem is I'm worried a little bit about the price. Michigan State is still a better team, even minus Nick Ward, but laying 6, that gives me pause. That gives me a little bit of worry, a little bit of concern. So I'm going to stick with my original free picks. I'm going to go with Texas Tech. I'm going to go with Villanova. And then I'm going to go, I hit my computer and hit my camera. And then I'm going to go with LSU. So those are your 3 picks, and I like them in that order. Texas Tech, Villanova, and then LSU. That'll do it. Wish you well, and we'll do this again tomorrow. So good luck, everybody.